I'm gonna be late and muted, huh? Interesting. Okay, you guys think I'm muted, but I'm not muted. I was never muted. I'm just not playing the music. Goodness. Hello, hello. So, as I mentioned, this is going to be a fairly boring stream. We are going to kind of pour through some of the emails that the individual sent me. And I'm going to try and organize my notes because the issue, I don't know why, Thea, I don't know why you're saying that the ones won, because I went live exactly at 6:30 and I was not muted, but y'all have fun. So that's the whole goal. There's probably not going to be a whole lot of videos I'm going to be watching. I'm kind of more so putting things together. What I have in mind, and this is what I talked to my my producer about. What I had in mind was I'm going to divide my video on David into 4 parts. Focusing on his breakdown, his sovereign citizen related beliefs, his kerfuffle with his wife, not wife Bonnie, and then a very extra and then a very pointed focus on one of his so-called success stories. So that's the whole goal. Yeah, as far as I'm Jade, I don't know, but it may be. It may actually be that they're not. Him and Bonnie aren't actually like. Well, they're not legally married. Like they're probably like common law married, or at least they want to be. All right. So these are like the big ones. These are like kind of descriptions of his events. This is from the guy. He's asking, ask David straight whether or not he's been a SEAL, whether he's been in the CIA, Secret Service, a sheriff's deputy, earned 1 college degree, never mind 5, rescued a single child from CPS, rescued his own children from CPS, perfected a land patent, become a global ambassador, and was on Ammon Bundy's legal defense team. So the big ones I was focusing on here is he was a sheriff's deputy, Secret Service. He also claimed to start, built, and sold 13 businesses, 5 college degrees. But also the big one in the military is like retired Navy SEAL. and intelligence. What's up, Anarad? What's up? I see you in the kick. What's going on, man? The problem that I haven't been able to locate is like kind of like confirmation. I'm like, so for example, I'm 99.999% sure he's stolen valor. If he was in the military, he was not a Navy SEAL. But I can't say that definitively. Right? These are all apparently his alleged cases that he's failed and lost. The guy actually gave me the case number, so I could actually look these up if I wanted to. But he has several tax liens on a lot of different properties. But he apparently has an open case since 2021. I'm curious about Washington versus David Strait. So Grant District Court, Ephrata, Washington. I'm going to see if I can. I doubt you could probably look up the court, any court records directly. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Odyssey portal. Oh, smart search. Oh, maybe I can look for it. Straight. David L. Nothing. Let's see the case number. 1 0. Oh, dang it! I put the wrong thing. Oh. How about straight David? What? Oh no, these are superior courts. He's apparently in the district court. Probably something different. Judy, I don't know his birth date. But his full name, allegedly, is David Lester Strait. I don't know his birth date though. District courts. Oh, they don't have for Grant District Court. District. By name. And Grant. GGGG. Grant District Court. I have no idea whether it's civil. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at civil. Criminal felony. Criminal non-traffic. Criminal traffic. Infraction. No. And nothing. Absolutely nothing. I have this at Grant District Court. Try searching by case number. 1A. Nothing. All right. So that's the thing. I'm not going to trust everything that this guy say. I'm going to try and verify everything I can. Because if I can't verify these things, then I'm no different than Straight is. because a lot of these liens would be public. Jefferson County Recorder's Office, Oregon. The recording. And you can't get them. I can't look for them online. Oh, balls. Yep. That's okay, let's see if I can find it in California. He has a state tax lien. Oh, that's from 1997. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask this guy for if he could provide more direct information. Ugh. All right, this is what this is from. Okay, so a lot of what he referenced to me was the Vice article on David Straight. And this one in particular is about some of his so-called success stories. So, okay, Vice. So here's a Vice News asked Straight to send us the forensic evidence about something about the underground tunnels of. Oh yeah, about the whole trafficking thing, but he never did. He also did not respond to follow-up questions about his resume. In his seminars, he claims to be a Navy SEAL and boasts of dramatic escapades in Ronald Reagan's drug war in Panama, but the Navy SEAL Museum holds no record of him, unlike every SEAL after World War II, according to his spokesperson. So, there it is. Straight also claims hundreds of victories in court, reuniting families, getting convicted out of jail, but a search of state and federal court records via Pacer and Westlaw reveals his name as a party only in a handful of business disputes linked to a ranch in Bend, Oregon, which also makes sense because I did that. Or at the very least, I did both a Lexus search and a Pacer search of David Straight, and I got nothing. Okay, so his website list. Okay, he claimed to be on Eamon Bundy's defense team. But when reached by Vice News, Bundy denied that Straight served on his legal team. Mm-hmm. This goes in about how David Straight is like kind of fomenting this radicalism, especially when it comes to custody, family issues, to a point where people are threatening judges, people are threatening welfare workers. Okay, and then he talks about Tim Colburn. He lost temporary custody of his daughter. They allege they neglected her, placed her in foster care. They deny it, but instead of fighting back with traditional legal representation, they were retaining Straight. The couple paid him $6,000 in 2021 and personally organized and paid for the space and equipment rental at the Arizona seminar. Straight instructs parents like Colburn to follow a roadmap. Fire your lawyers who self-represent, revoke your U.S. citizenship, become an American state national. It recommends personally suing judges, social workers, and lawyers who are corrupt. Another one of Straight methods involved trademarking Giles' name and selling it on merchandise. When a name becomes of value to a business, Straight argues lawyers and judges are unable to mention it in filings because states may not interfere with commerce. What in the actual... Since his interview with Vice News, the Arizona Department of Family Services has moved steadily toward terminating the couple's parental rights. This is what this guy does to people. Kirk Pendergrass, Anna Von Reitz, Homestead. I haven't heard much about Homestead. I've vaguely heard of him, but I know of Kirk and I know of Anna. And David Jose. I also know that one. When he's not working with parents, he peddles documents he claims will force states to conduct Arizona-style forensic audits of the 2020 election. Vice News checked in with Colburn, the dad fighting the Arizona DFS, a month and a half after he organized a seminar for Straight. Colburn was pensive. He had not spoken to Straight in weeks, and now he felt cheated for paying him. David overpromises and underdelivers. It's disappointing because I held him in high respect. But Coleman is continuing to represent himself in court, even more than Straight. Colburn doesn't trust lawyers. Yes, true. Never trust us. Okay, so the big thing I'm going to be talking about is not about his various success claims, but about one in particular. Jamie Cobat. there is a lot of info on her and a lot of info that I've already done the research on. I have in my drive a bunch of the court filings that Straight told her to file or filed himself. The long and short of the Kobach case is that once she actually got an actual attorney, she got herself in a much better situation than David Straight ever would have gotten her. Funny that. So she was charged with multiple counts of welfare fraud, both state and federal. But I'm curious. He says he's lying about stolen valor.
Community out.
Watch from 48 to 102. So the thing is, this guy has been on a fairly large crusade against David Straight, but don't get it twisted. He's a guru unto himself. I've already seen his YouTube. He's peddling his own sovereign citizen BS. So don't worry about it. But he's made it his own, like a personal vendetta to go after David Straight, including bringing in Jamie. This is Jamie Kobat to talk about her stuff. I'm probably going to be citing to a lot of what she says here in my video. But he says to go to 40.
Nothing there. Now, another part of this thing I want to take a turn on because we got 15 minutes. I want to talk about the stolen valor thing. I think that is important.
Yeah. I'm going to let Tim
chargeable. And those of you guys that have served our country, those of you guys that have made the sacrifice for this country so that I can do this today, so that I can have this conversation today without having to bolt my door shut or do it in a hole in a cave somewhere, you know, like, you know what I mean? I just want to thank these guys openly. Tim is a vet, and I thank you for your service, man, abundantly. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about his take on this whole stolen valor thing and how serious this really is. You know, a lot of people think that, well, you know, I mean, he just said it was. I mean, you know, it's not really that big of a deal. Tim, I'm going to pass it over to you, and I'm just going to throw that at you, and I know you'll be able to return that. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. So I served 24 years in the Army, and every person that served in any branch of the service should be able to produce a DD-214, if not any kind of veteran paperwork, such as I have right here in my hand, that tells me military information, verified periods of service, July 1st, 1983. And then I finally discharged in February 15th of 2011. And it has all my characters of service honorable and everything, all that stuff's on there. And every vet should be able to provide this for you.
Has not produced a DD-214.
I want to see David Straight's. I want to see his documentation of being a Navy SEAL, being in the CIA, being part of the presidential task force team. Any of those things, he should have documentation to back up. And if he doesn't, I'm calling him to his face. He's a liar. And it's stolen valor. And stolen valor wasn't a great big deal, but you know, they made it a federal crime, and you'll spend time locked up for stolen valor. So I'm saying,
let's bring it.
Prove your stuff, David Straight, or shut your yapper, because I don't believe anything he says. David Straight had a whole bunch of information. We've known him for a long time, but when he started lying, I mean, blatantly lying. I was in the Rose Garden with Melania Trump, and Donald comes out and hands me a hat and says, "Here you go, Dave."
Well, before that, he was telling people that he had won my case. He was
right
in my court hearing, and that was the end. My first sentencing hearing was it. I won, and he taught
Okay,
me.
Jamie.
Yeah. So yes, David has repeatedly claimed that the Jamie Kobach case is one of his success stories. The court record completely disagrees with that.
You got to.
Yes, so he's claimed to have been a retired Navy SEAL with the CIA, served in 2 Trump presidential task forces on human trafficking. He's also used to be a sheriff's deputy, a member of the Secret Service, started, built, and sold 13 businesses, and has 5 college degrees.
Let Tim do this one because nobody can hear
Oh.
you in the background.
Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
So
I said I'll get nasty messages and everybody.
All of that, by the way, is coming from flyers that he's sold up, flyers that he's peddled, his own website. All of that is coming from his own websites and his own information, his own source.
I can't hear. Look, I'm already getting
yeah.
them.
So my whole thing is
Thank you for your service,
um,
brother.
it started out with a little the thing with Jamie about him lying about winning her complete case. I'm like, what's going on here? So every time I watch him, I'll see him on Facebook. Somebody will post his stuff and I'll watch it just because I'll catch him in another light. And it's just getting bigger and bigger. But when you talk about stolen valor, I lost some buddies on my last tour to Iraq, and I take that stuff very serious. And when you're out there playing like you served and you didn't, that's serious to me. I take that very, very personal.
So watch out.
So,
What comes around goes around, doesn't it?
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I understand that they're held up actually in Keene, Texas. So that's what my understanding is. They're held up in Keene, Texas, and they're basically got like this whole, hey, if you're on the run, if CPS is after your children, come to us, we're going to take care of you. And I don't even know how many people do you think are staying there?
Oh,
Tell him that's Bhagwan again.
That's a bunch of people. And that's like the Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh in Oregon. He did the same thing. He, come here, bring all your possessions, sell your house, and bring the money, and you can put it into this deal, and we'll take care of you. You won't have nothing to worry about. The government can't touch you while you're here. That's happened before, David. It's happened before, and it doesn't work.
Wow, it says just Bonnie and David. There is no one else.
Yep, the kitty's here.
Wow. Yeah, Angela Stewart says it's nasty. He's a nasty, heartless man. Who is he really working for? You know what, man? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you, you veterans that are up here in North Texas, why don't y'all go pay him a visit? And, they reached out for my help. I can't say who they are because I'm not going to, and they have some warrants. And
okay. So the thing is, he says here that where David Straight apparently admitted that he had been lying about being a Navy SEAL. I don't know. And he cites this BitChute article. But I don't know if I trust. The problem that I have is I don't know if I can trust this. You probably can't. Guys probably can't see it. I think my thing is blocking. But it says here, I spend my life trying to help others, and I never worked for a government, just private contract, but many in my family have served, and I tried. And yes, I was shot in sternum while under O'Brien for private contractor, but that is neither here nor there. I already have said I cannot claim a SEAL, and have asked for forgiveness, and I have hundreds of victims and families that will back me on the trafficking, as well as Master Chief Rubio and Sergeant Horton, who I have turned evidence into. Everything I teach is about the message, not me, so please accept my apology. Okay. I see. I can't trust these. I can't trust these texts. I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know who's saying what. You know, you never served a single day uniform, never shot in a sermon, no Trump child trafficking, no special leg shit. 100% phony. I'm tired of verifying you. You hit the top of Google in a couple of days. Phony. You won't like me very much.
Can you hear me? Can you
Oh my God, is this really? Oh yeah, they were also. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the back last year, was it around this time last year or the year before, where Bonnie and David were kicked out of the Republic of Texas, which is his own LARPing group, for hawking their own driver's licenses stuff under the name of the Republic of Texas. So they're basically scamming the Republic of Texas, which in and of itself is also a scam.
hear me running? Can you hear me calling you?
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Now I understand. Timothy Holmseth was also a David Strait like adherent. They were kicked out. So yeah, there was a rift between these two groups, between two sovereign citizen groups. And red alert, Republic of Texas Embassy in Keene, Texas is a UN headquarters. So here they're trying to vilify the Republic of Texas, or is it the Republic of Texas? Yeah, I think it's yeah, I think that's what it is, right?
So
what the hell? Timothy Charles Holmseth is another Sov set. He's not an investigative journalist.
Many times, it scares the hell out of me that that you saw that video of Pence raping a little kid.
Okay, this is also bullshit. Apparently, David Strait alleges that there is a Secret Service video of Mike Pence assaulting a child. And also in this, he claims to be a Secret Service.
EP.
I think that's one you wouldn't have known about that could show it.
Through Melania?
I have Secret Service clearance.
He says he has Secret Service clearance.
No, I have regarded President
What the hell does that even mean?
Bush once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but anyway,
Don't believe the church and the state and everything they tell you. Believe in me, I'm with the high command.
I don't know what the this is. This is all weird shit. Okay, that's all weird. All right, here's the Gazette Times about the Kobat case. Woman, this is for her. She was ordered to pay $19,000 for restitution for welfare. Oh, you pricks! For a welfare fraud. Oh yeah, we already saw this. So I'm gonna go into I'm gonna probably go into detail of well, I am going into detail. The thing is with his beliefs, the man says so much outrageous garbage that for me to address all of it, the video would be like 6 hours long. So what I'm going to try and do is ignore the insanity of that Biden, the Joe Biden we see on TV is actually an impersonator in a mask, and that the real Joe Biden was charged and executed a long time ago, and that Trump is actually in charge, is actually still the president. I'm ignoring all of that, and I'm going to focus on his sovereign citizen-esque beliefs, namely the American state and national thing, rescinding your citizenship, land patents, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I know all about these. We all saw it happen in real time. It was about David and Bonnie were hooked up.
Tell people they will be placed on a do not detain list. Charged with operating.
Oh my god, the AI! I want to die. Yeah, but we already seen this. Mm-hmm. All right, and now Bonnie. So she was arrested. Okay, the criminal. So for her, the criminal history. And then there's also the family history that we'll probably have to go through. Because her family history is kind of wild in and of itself. The more important one was in 2015, she was charged with carrying a weapon in a prohibited place. It was a courthouse. It was she was I think she was given probation. And then in 2023, she was arrested I believe it was for driving with fake plates, no registration. the result of that was she had to serve her 5 years of prison. That was the deal. She'd be on probation, but if she got hooked up within that time, she'd have to serve the 5 years. Okay. Okay. So this I haven't actually heard about. Bonnie apparently was charged with, well, hang on. U.S. District Court, Texas, Northern District of Texas, Dallas Division. Mm-hmm. Okay, so in the family history, mother of 3. Was initially awarded full custody. Ex-husband Mark then sought custody in June 2015 on emergency basis. Let me see if I can download this. And then I'm gonna refer this. This is Thomas versus Texas. All right, do this. Yeah. No. There we go. Okay, that works. So he alleged that Bonnie confiscated son's cell phone and was physically abusing him. All right, so in this one, she alleges that X is an active drug user. She denied the allegations. All right. So after moving to after being transferred to several judges, Judge Neal gotta say, Judge Bridewell granted the emergency relief. Judge Neal held a hearing August 2015. Modified custody. Only to allow Bonnie visitation. Judge Neal, okay, at a second hearing, at a September hearing, Judge Neal allegedly verbally ordered the parties to turn over their firearms to their attorneys. Bonnie turned over, the only firearm she owned at the time to her attorney. But then Judge Neal refused to schedule a hearing on Bonnie's writ of habeas corpus, return of child, which is not a thing, by the way. So as this complaint was going on, we now move to the criminal history. So in October, because she was hooked up while she was trying to do legal research in her custody case. She went to the Gwyn Justice Center in we're in Texas for research. She contends that she forgot that she had a small 22 caliber purse gun in her purse when she went through security. The gun was discovered, and she allegedly went to put it in her car. She was then arrested and charged with carrying a weapon into a prohibited area and resisting and evading arrest. Sheriff ordered her vehicle impounded and searched. She claims she was denied bond by the judge because the judge was naturally in on it in a conspiracy against her to include the sheriff, and I assume the ex. So the thing is, I'm trying to see is where's the court getting these Oh. She saw she tried to do so she claims that she tried to sue the state or the county because of a wrongful death allegation with her father. I'm not sure how really important that is right now, though. But that appears to be the nexus of her claiming that this sheriff was in on it, because allegedly it was the same sheriff or the same county where her father allegedly died while in custody. So yeah. Okay. Uh, 2015 arrest. I feel like this would be more. "2015 arrest." Yeah, let's keep it there. Okay. At trial, she claimed the judge refused to grant her various motions and allowed prejudicial photographs to be taken of her. I don't know what that means. She claimed, well, of course, she claimed it bias, but I want to know. Plaintiff was for so she was convicted. Bonnie was convicted. But I'm trying to figure out what the what her sentence was. I'm sure I can find that. Sentence unclear at the moment, but at minimum, it was a deferred, likely a deferred adjudication of 5 years. So here, this court opinion is about her trying to sue the county and everybody under the sun for entrapment. Because he apparently said that they tried to entrap her in a murder for hire scheme, but I'm not sure about this. You can think of it as $5. Well, I try, but a lot of it is a lot of it's reading, and a lot of it is trying to isolate pointed facts of what I'm trying to get through. Because I care more. Because usually when I'll go back through my notes, and I'll probably like delete extraneous details, like you know, for example, the sheriff, you know, we don't need, it doesn't matter whether if the sheriff ordered her vehicle impounded. What matters is the facts underlying why she got hooked up, you know, going through the metal detector with the gun, and then allegedly walking away, and then getting hooked up, and then a little bit of the pretrial stuff, alleging bias, her conspiracy, and then I also want to know a little bit more about what happened at trial. But the thing is, we're only getting her side of what happened. The judge in this case is kind of recounting facts that she's alleging. And then I want to know the conviction. And the actual sentence, I should say. Rooker-Feldman, domestic relations exception. So there's like everything under the sun to say that her lawsuit's going nowhere because she's suing judges, sheriffs, police officers, her ex-husband, the city, the county, the state. Yeah, it's a big case. So I care far less about this claim, more so than I care about getting the kind of like the facts about what happened with her in 2015. And I know I've seen other court opinions that had a much more robust reciting of the factual background related to her arrest and conviction. Ugh. Okay, so they have this. Oh, that's Bonnie, by the way, from 2015. Oh my god! Pricks. Eat me. But she was required to undergo a psych eval. That's not surprising. Let's have 4 minutes. Oh, what the fuck? What? This dude is citing me! What? What the hell?
Allegedly married.
Oh my god, I'm so cringe.
The Gwynn Justice Center will continue to be held without bond pending the results of a psychological evaluation.
Oh my god, I hate hearing my voice. Never mind. We're not doing this. I hate hearing my own voice. But apparently I was able to see the full article after all.
Eval. Neil assured Thomas is a Mark Peroni, at least for now. Well, you're going to have another one, Neil replied after Thomas told him she already had a psych eval. Neil assured Thomas's attorney that the evaluation will be conducted as soon as possible. Neil said he will rule later on motions addressing child support of the couple's children. and a request that Mark Pironi's guns be returned to him. Thomas allegedly entered the Justice Center at about 4 p.m. Wednesday carrying a fully loaded pistol.
Yeah, this is we already went through this because the article's reciting the facts of the case. I don't think this person, I think the channel owner, yeah, I think the channel owner isn't a Sav Set. I think he's the guy who sent me all this information. I think this is his channel. Because please subscribe to Ari's Corporate Fiction for all your Sav Set news. Like, so, aw, thank you. Appreciate it. Yep. Her from being hooked up in jail. Her message to everybody. Her being arrested. But he's citing me again! Because I covered it live.
Everybody, it is already.
Because I covered this live last year when she and David were hooked up in April last year. Okay, here. I believe this is this is the court case that I was thinking of. This is the an appeals case involving the ex-husband. Thank you for the 33 months pronoun. Okay. Divorced in 2009. By its order stated in March 22nd, 2011, after finding Alan Pironi, Bonnie, in contempt for violating the standing child possession orders on 14 different occasions, stretching from July 12, 2010 through January 10, 2011. The court ordered Bonnie confined for 7 separate 24-hour periods, one for each of the 7 violations admitted by Bonnie, and ordered a single separate suspended sentence for the other violations. Wow. Okay, this is a habeas corpus petition. So I'm going to copy this. Nope. And then Supreme Court of Texas. In the divorce, Mark was awarded the family business. Bonnie was awarded $500,000 payable in monthly installments of $10,000, which Mark dutifully paid. About 6 months after the divorce, Mark purchased a new home in Collin County. Bonnie subsequently recorded in the county property records an abstract of judgment that reflected Mark's $500,000 debt from the divorce decree. The abstract created an ostensible lien on Mark's property. Wow. Mark did not discover the abstract of judgment until years later. Unfortunately, the discovery came when he was preparing to close on the sale of the Collin County property. That sale fell through after Bonnie refused to release her lien. What district is the SCOTUS of Texas? I don't know what you mean by that, Deacon. Texas's judiciary framework is weird. For civil litigation, the Texas Supreme Court is the last court of relief. For criminal matters, it's the Texas the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals is the final. Like, they have two branching appellate lines, one for civil and one for criminal. Yeah, Texas is weird. That sale fell through after Bonnie refused to release her lien, and because Mark had agreed to purchase another home, he ended up owning two. The Collin County property remained vacant for 7 months while Mark looked for a tenant. After the property's aborted sale, Mark sued Bonnie to quiet title and for damages, asserting an equitable action to remove her lien and a tort action for slander of title. A bench trial ensued. In the end, the court rendered judgment for Mark, removing the cloud on his title and awarding him damages of $98,438 in attorney's fees. In its findings of fact, the trial court determined that Mark would have netted $80,000 from the property sale had Bonnie's lien not cost him that opportunity. The $80,000 gain was based on the contract price of $285,000, less Mark's remaining mortgage balance of $205,000. The court also found that Bonnie's slander caused Mark to incur additional expenses of $18,438 during the period the property was vacant. The court then calculated Mark's damages to be $98,438 by adding together the equity and his out-of-pocket expenses. The Court of Appeals reversed the award of attorney's fees, but otherwise affirmed the trial court's judgment. To support its conclusion that the profit Mark would have made from the sale was an appropriate measure of damages, they cited Ramsey versus Davis, yada, 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 yada. Although Bonnie does not complain about the award of Mark's out-of-pocket expenses, she does contend that the $80,000 reward, representing the difference between the contract price and Mark's loan balance, was erroneous and contrary to the measure of damages approved by this court. We agree. Uh-oh. We agree and remanded in accordance with Bonnie's prayer for relief. Wow, she won. That's shocking. She actually won this. The law does not presume damages as a consequence of slander of title. Rather, the plaintiff must prove special damages. Special damages exist when a plaintiff can show the loss of a specific pending sale that was frustrated by the slander. But the seller's lost profit from the sale is not the relevant measure of those damages. Instead, instead, in a case in which the plaintiff still owns the property at the time of the trial, the amount of actual damages caused by the slander is generally the difference between the contract price, the amount the plaintiff would receive but for the defendant's title disparagement, the property's market value at the time of trial with the cloud removed. In Roe, we adopted this measure, quoting ICE in support of a restatement comment we found directly on point. So because the trial judge calculated the award improperly, she won. Oh, okay. She had an actual attorney this time. Well, yeah. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. She actually had an attorney. And wasn't trying to BS her way into a victory. So these are all of her cases under her married name. And then these are all the cases under her maiden name. Oh, there's something from this year? Uh-oh. Oh. Untimely. Sucks to suck. Hey, Mimster. $2020. Oh, here we go. I finally found it. Suspended of 5 years confinement, suspended. Sentenced to 5 years of confinement. Suspended in favor of community supervision. The 10th court affirmed her conviction. The Court of Criminal Appeals refused her petition for discretionary review. 10th court issued its mandate affirming the judgment. Thereafter, the appellant filed a notice of appeal stating, quote, "The justices at the 10th Court of Appeals have not followed the Constitution. Their decision rendered 7/13/2020 is void." End quote. Wrecked. That's a Giga Chad. Giga Chad. Appeal as I've ever heard. What the hell? but we have it's been dismissed for want of jurisdiction. You know, 2016, 2017. She keeps on suing the correctional facility. 2016, 2016, 2017. 2017. What about the Bonnie Allen Thomas stuff? Thomas versus State. This is 2023. So shortly after she was hooked up. Bonnie Allen Thomas appeals for the trial court's revocation of community supervision. They say that the U.S. Supreme Court has held there is no constitutional right to represent oneself on appeal. But in Texas, there is a statutory right to self-representation in appeal. However, that waiver of counsel has to be done voluntarily, intelligently, and in writing. And it looks like that there's no evidence of that, so the court remanded back down to the trial court to conduct a hearing to determine her ability to properly waive her right to counsel. Oh no. Uh-oh. Oh, this all right, this it sounds like this Court of Appeals, Texas, appeal from 18th District Court in October 12th, 2023, before Chief Justice Gray, Justice Johnson, and Justice Smith, with Chief Justice Gray dissenting. The memo opinion, August 7th, we received a letter from appellant Bonnie Allen Thomas. In the letter, appellant repeatedly asked that we dismiss this appeal. We therefore construe appellant's letter as a motion to dismiss this appeal. Dismissal of this appeal would not prevent another party from seeking relief. Appellant's motion to dismiss is therefore granted, and this appeal is dismissed. However, this is the dissent, guys. This is the dissent. Listen to this. And I'm gonna make sure I save this. Copy link address. The court purports to grant Bonnie Allen Thomas's motion to dismiss, but the court's judgment makes it clear that the court is not granting Bonnie's motion. The court is apparently granting its own motion without notice or opportunity for the parties to be heard thereon, and will potentially create chaos about the basis for and scope of the court's judgment. This is not Bonnie's first trip to this court. Judges and prosecutors across Texas will understand when I attribute to her the characteristics of a litigant making Republic of Texas type arguments. She's acting as her own attorney, which is evident from the handwritten 5-page document that was addressed to this court's clerk. The document was not addressed to the court. The document was not labeled as a motion. The document was not served. The filing fee for filing a motion was not paid. but the document does request relief, which only the court can give. Thus, I agree with the court's characterization of the document as a motion. The motion could, I contend, best be described as a general venting from Bonnie. The venting is about what she characterizes as a series of erroneous errors by the 18th District Court of Johnson County. The Johnson County is where she got hooked up for the litigation for the driving infractions, which ultimately resulted in her revocation. Some would characterize it as a rant, but we cannot twist a pro se litigant's rant into something it is not merely because of the problem and delay of dealing with a difficult situation or litigant. Let us look at what the court relies upon to support the conclusion that Bonnie repeatedly asked that we dismiss his appeal. First, in the opening sentence, after she has referenced the proceeding in the trial court as well as the proceeding in the appellate court by their respective docket numbers, she asks for both cases dismissed pro nunc tunc. I thought it was supposed to be nunc pro tunc. Yeah, she got that wrong. It's supposed to be nunc pro tunc, or rescission. She goes on to argue that the matter had already been decided at an earlier date by another court. In making that argument, after arguing that her former husband's appeal had been untimely, she asserts I filed a demand for dismissal and challenge to jurisdiction and standing. Lloyd, former husband, had a duty to then prove standing and jurisdiction. This sentence refers... This second reference to dismissal was not about the current proceeding, but rather was about an earlier proceeding or this proceeding at an earlier stage. Bonnie goes on to argue, rant, about being divested of her separate property rights and a violation of her due process rights. In making these arguments, she argues that this court does not have jurisdiction in this matter. So then why the hell is she asking for relief from this court if the court doesn't have jurisdiction? Sovereign citizens, ladies and gentlemen. Bonnie's second reference to a dismissal comes towards the end of the motion. After setting out some of her grievances about the process and against her former husband's current treatment of her, she provides the following sentence. I am taking this issue to the Texas Supreme Court and ask you to dismiss the cause 10-23-00182-CV as lacking standing and jurisdiction in a contract with me. After then asserting a notice of claim to property, I'm almost certain she's referring to her own kids when she's saying notice of claim to property. She makes a third statement that might be construed as a request for dismissal. She states, I ask for full settlement and closure of this case. And these are statements in the letter which the court construes as making her motion nothing more than a garden variety motion to dismiss the appeal. I disagree with the court's characterization. In the first instance, she seeks more than a dismissal of the appeal. Bonnie wants the case dismissed, both the appeal and the trial court proceeding. Moreover, she wants it dismissed for a reason, asserting a legal basis upon which we are required to dismiss it. Specifically, she asserts that her former husband has no standing to pursue his claims in the 18th District Court, and we have no jurisdiction of the appeal. The court is not dismissing the case. Even if there was a basis to dismiss the trial court proceeding as requested, this is not what the court is doing. All the court is doing is dismissing the appeal, thus leaving the trial court's judgment in place, which is the opposite of what Bonnie seeks via her motion. And the court is certainly not dismissing the appeal upon a determination that Lloyd has no standing or that we have no jurisdiction of the appeal. Finding no basis upon which to grant the motion to dismiss the case, as Bonnie asked us to do, much less the appeal as the court purports to do, I would deny the motion and move on to other issues to be addressed to move this appeal forward. Basically, the dissenting judge is like, you guys don't understand. Basically, the dissenting judge is saying to the majority, you guys don't understand what Bonnie's asking because she's a nut job sovereign citizen. That's effectively what the court said, and he's trying to clarify what was being done. But yeah, I have it saved. Oh, crap. Dios míos. okay, this is the case. This one talks about the various properties. Okay, this is the case I recall reading at length. Finally, I found it. Because this involves the properties. Property. Because if you guys recall, after Bonnie was hooked up and put in jail, I think it was like a month or a couple months later, David Straight was evicted out of their home because they didn't own it. It was apparently the ex-husband's property still, but they had been living there on their own. Yeah, this is all talking about the community property, their assets when they were together. Wait, I just realized she was twice married before she met David Straight. Oh, I guess that didn't click for me. I gotta make a note about that. With second husband, Lloyd. Lloyd Griffith Thomas. Lloyd Griffith Thomas. Yeah, these are talking about the various property that they had. Yeah. And in this one, apparently she tried to get David to represent her, and it failed, because of course it did. Judge of the magistrate. Do not publish. Denied. Denied. Oh, well, no. Deacon, both Bonnie and David are both in on it. There is no spousal abuse happening here. Both Bonnie and David are our dynamic duo of sovereign citizen BS. They're both well in on it. Yeah. They're absolutely partners in crime. Here we go. Oh, we are. I already have this in here. Oh, we already saw it. And all of these cases are pretty short and just citing how she doesn't know what she's doing. Okay, I think we got most of, yeah. That's exactly what you're hearing. All right, I think we got through most of these. Probably gonna have to take a look at all of them in more detail, but at least I got the links for them. This is another one involving the properties. This is a good one. This is involving the lawsuit for the title issue. We already saw that. Damages for slander of title in Texas. Just a more description of what it means to slander title. No records exist. No records exist regarding her marriage. Oh. To David. All right. So next, American State Nationals. What does that mean? Part 1. David Straight operates on the premise that U.S. law only applies to U.S. citizens. So, stop being a citizen. According to David, if you renounce your citizenship, you are exempt from U.S. law. He believes that 8 USC 1101 section A 21 recognizes the status of a national who owes, oh god, permanent allegiance to a state. But when they say state, they mean another country, not a US state, you dumbass. But this is about it. But before, all of this is about debunking it. I don't want to get there yet. I want to flesh out like his whole thing. David Straight. David believes this exemption also applies to state and local laws, even though they are claiming allegiance to one of the several states. From this premise, David creates it. From this premise, David builds his entire scheme. And various scams. From right to travel documents. Land patents. Tax avoidance. Child custody. David, I'm just gonna put a note here. David is also a strong adherent to QAnon conspiracies. and claims. But that is an entirely different rabbit hole. He also uses this interpretation when reading the 14th Amendment. Okay. I think this is it. I think I'm gonna stop here. I think I got enough in here. I still want to flesh out. I still absolutely want to flesh out his American state nationals, because debunking it is actually kind of the easy part. It's trying to organize his stream of consciousness, batshit insane views into something that the viewer can digest. Let me see if I could find I think it's wait, where was it? Here it is. I found it. Copy. How do I share it? Here you go. All right. It's in the Discord. All right, I'm gonna see if I can find the kitties. 1 second. Remember, if they're napping, I'm not going to bother them. Yeah, they're napping. Mike is in the mouse cubby, and Winston's on the Winston's on the cat bed that I originally got for Mike, but Winston took it over. But all right, guys. I'm not gonna keep the research going on like all week or anything. I'm gonna probably take a break tomorrow. But this will be like something I'm gonna be doing like sporadically for the next couple of weeks. But I appreciate you guys watching. I am going to probably play some Helldivers and then some Fallout, and then and then go to bed. All right. Thanks, guys. Told you it's going to be boring. Have a good night. Later, all. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're doing the Right to Travel course tomorrow. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, that's happening. All right. So check that out.